Hillary Clinton has perfected the politics of personal profit.
As Vice President, Joe Biden flew his son Hunter around the world on Air Force Two, sucking up money like a vacuum cleaner.
For years, Trump and his family have slammed Hunter Biden, claiming he profited from his father's position. Now, Trump's family seems to be doing just that. Take, for example, Eric and Don Jr. So you see them standing right there behind the president. This was before boarding the new Air Force One. According to the New York Times, they now stand to profit from a $1 billion mining deal between Trump and Kazakhstan, the very same people who were calling out Hunter Biden.
This morning, President Trump defending the $2.2 billion in income in his first year back in office as he faces fresh questions about his finances. $1.4 billion of that money he made last year came from his family's crypto business, which boomed as his administration loosened regulations. World Liberty Financial getting a major investment from a firm closely tied to the United Arab Emirates. Our Mary Bruce asking.
To critics who say you're profiting off the presidency, Mr.
Well, you know why I'm profiting? Because the stock market's going up. Everybody's profiting.
The stock market does not account for the bulk of the president's wealth. He made 3 times more than the year before, even though investors in his family's cryptocurrency lost big. Unlike past presidents, President Trump has not put his business into a blind trust. It's being run by his sons, Don Jr. and Eric. Experts call the president's financial gains while in the White House unprecedented.
We have never seen a president make this kind of money while he's in office, and in dealings that ostensibly could present a conflict of interest based on his responsibilities as president. There are many presidents in the past who have scrupulously avoided any optics of impropriety relating to his job as president.
Democrats outraged.
Trump is enriching himself at the expense of the American people.
It all comes as the president takes his new Air Force One jet for its inaugural flight. The $400 million gift from Qatar, retrofitted by the Pentagon with hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars.
Well, it costs very little relative to what it would cost if we did it a different way.
But critics sounding the alarm that the deal would violate the Constitution's ban on gifts from foreign heads of state. White House staffers posting pictures inside the jet, showing off the large rooms. When the president leaves office, the plane will too. A highly unusual arrangement that transfers ownership of the plane to his presidential library.
So back to the president's income, those financial disclosure forms, they are mandatory. It also reveals the president was gifted about $122,000 worth of tickets to sporting events like the Super Bowl, FIFA World Cup, and the U.S. Open.
That's very frustrating to actually hear that. And like I said, I don't do the politics and stuff, but to hear that come from another American that, you know, is not getting $2 million put in their pocket.
$2 billion.
$2 billion, $2 million, $2 trillion. You know, that's a lot of money. You know, that's a lot of money, and that would help out a lot of people around here. A lot of homeless people. You could open shelters. You could really help somebody out with that.
Somebody's making money on the side. It's not me. That's all I got to say.
Is it frustrating?
It's frustrating that you see your president getting richer and richer, and the middle class is getting poor. And that's about it.
Life in America right now, the economy's tough. People are struggling, you know, and hopefully it'll change.
He definitely made lots of promises, and he made them seem like they were going to come a lot quicker, faster than they actually were to ever come or ever will come. Like 90% of all the elections in the past, you know, the candidates, they promised the moon and fall short at the end of the day. But I mean, I don't think it was the Donald Trump that we saw in 2016, and I don't think that he can make up for it in what's left of his current term.
Donald Trump just unveiled the new Air Force One, a $400 million jet from Qatar. Because nothing screams America first like replacing one of the key images of U.S. patriotism with a lavish gift from a foreign country known to fund our adversaries. To be fair, Trump is building a $5.5 billion golf course in Qatar, so they had to give him a little thanks, you know, one laced with listening devices and tracking modules built in. But hey, now we know the U.S. president cannot be bought for less than $400 million. This is like being married but taking a diamond ring from your toxic ex while yours is getting cleaned at the shop and then, you know, just keeping it. Because after the plane goes to the government, it goes to Trump's presidential foundation for him to use however he pleases after he leaves office. Which Could be never because, authoritarianism. But you should be grateful for $4 gas and the inability to ever purchase a home, especially now that he refused to sign the new housing bill, because at least your president is set to wipe his bum in a 2-bedroom, 5-bath jet using dollar bills he stacked from his Trump coin crypto scam.
Profiting because the stock market's going up. Everybody's profiting. If you have a 401k, how's your 401k done? It's about up 85%. Thank you, President Trump. So we're all profiting. I'm profiting because I have a lot of money and a lot of cash.
So President Trump has made more than $2.2 billion in his first year back in office. His wealth has more than tripled since he returned to the White House, and that's according to new financial disclosure documents from the Office of Government Ethics. So where is this money coming from? Well, more than half of it, over $1.3 billion, is tied to the Trump family's cryptocurrency business. And the biggest piece of that comes from his meme coin, more than $600 million. But meanwhile, many investors in that meme coin have lost money because it's plunged in value since Trump launched it just days before he took office. So you have a scenario where Trump is profiting from crypto while his administration is also writing the rules for the industry. They have rolled back regulations and promised to make the U.S. the most crypto-friendly country in the world. Now, the rest of this windfall, it comes from ventures like real estate, merchandise. Trump-branded watches alone, for instance, brought in more than $4 million. And just to put the scale of this all into perspective, Trump's financial disclosure report, it's running over 900 pages. President Biden's the year before he left office, that was 11 pages. The White House has said there is no conflict of interest. Trump's assets, they say, are held in a trust, but this is not a blind trust. It's run by his children.
This is terrible, Maga.
And no president has seen the type of financial gains that President Trump has while in office, bringing in $2.2 billion in 1 year alone.
President Trump defending the $2.2 billion in income in his first year back in office as he faces fresh questions about his finances. $0.4 billion of that money he made last year came from his family's crypto business, which boomed as his administration loosened regulations.
Critics who say you're profiting off the presidency, Mr.
Well, you know why I'm profiting? Because the stock market's going up. Everybody's profiting.
The stock market does not account for the bulk of the president's wealth. He made 3 times more than the year before, even though investors and his family's cryptocurrency lost big.
Guess what? Maga voters are furious. They can't believe that Trump made $2 billion in the first year. Yet for them, they are getting poor every day. Life is hard in the US. Everything is skyrocketing, the fuel, housing, everything. But for him, he's enjoying. For him and his colleagues are getting richer, and the poor Maga are getting more poor. Let us watch this lady.
Have you ever spent $60 million on a nap? Because apparently America did last night. We spent roughly $60 million on a birthday party for the President of the United States. And somewhere along the way, the guest of honor appeared to doze off. Listen, I'm not judging. I've fallen asleep at family cookouts. I've fallen asleep watching TV. I've even fallen asleep during a Zoom meeting. But I've never fallen asleep at a party that cost $60 million. That's like renting out all of Disneyland and then falling asleep before you even get on a ride. And can we talk about the irony? Folks were out here cheering, celebrating, showing love, waving, the whole production. Meanwhile, the star of the show looked like he was ready for a blanket and a pillow. America is a fascinating place. We can't afford eggs, but apparently we can afford a $60 million nap.
You remember how Maga supporters ordered for the phone? That phone, those phones never delivered. The guy is making himself richer while his followers are suffering. Tell me what you think down in the comment. Do you think you sympathize with the MAGA voters who are now crying because of Trump's way of doing things? or because of how Trump is making money, and for them, they are becoming more poor.
MAGA is pissed, and I don't blame them one bit. Let's take a listen, and then I'll explain.
This goes out to Don Jr. and Eric. Where the fuck's my phones? I ordered 4 gold Trump phones in the summer. Told they're going to be the best. Talked my son into ordering some. We heard they're going to come out in September. Yeah, we can fucking wait. September rolls around. No, it's going to be November. November, no, it's going to be the end of the year. They actually stopped taking orders for them in November. Now we can't get any fucking updates on them.
Trump, you are losing supporters by the second. So if you don't know, in mid-2025, last year, Trump's sons, Don Jr. and Eric, promoted a gold-colored, gaudy-ass phone. This was all part of a Trump-branded phone service called the T1 phone. The phones were apparently going to be made in the USA. It was going to have Trump's face, I believe, on the back. Buyers were asked to put a $100 deposit down to reserve one. In total, it would cost $499, but this $100 would go towards that. And they were supposed to receive their phone by August of last year, 2025. Well, that August shipping date came and went. Then it got pushed back to November. Then it got pushed back again to December. Then early 2026. Then March of 2026. And now, apparently there isn't even a public release date anymore. Nearly 600,000 people placed deposits down. Nearly $60 million. Now customers are being told that refunds may be hard to get or even impossible. Trump family, $100 might be a penny to you, but it's not to everyone else.
Donald Trump lives on the planet Trump, a delusional, demented, declining figure who is making everybody's life worse except for his friends and his cronies. They're saying the president can fire almost anybody in the U.S. government. They're expanding the power of the presidency, which is very alarming because they seem not to consider the fact that presidents can be flawed. The whole reason that there is a balance of powers in the U.S. Constitution was that the founders said, well, human beings can be flawed, so let's set up a construction. But them, with their unitary executive thought, make the executive more strong, they're building it up and up. And, we have this example of the most flawed human being possible as president as they are doing it. And it's really striking. Donald Trump and rich people, they treat and view courts differently. They feel they can hire as many lawyers as they want for as long as they want to come up with delaying tactics. Because every time they go and bring a new case or come up with a new tactic, they know that the other side's got to write a check. It becomes a way of punishing people, even if they know the case isn't going to go their way.
Trump has lost total control of the situation. Even his allies in Congress are turning on him.
In an effort to gain clarity, 3 Republicans joined Democrats on the House Oversight Committee to subpoena the Justice Department to give Congress all of the Epstein files.
This fight's coming no matter, this is here, I'm ready to take this vote. I think we should take this vote and move forward, move this country forward, and people deserve transparency.
Nancy Mace, damn. Trump is even losing the white women. Which is great because it means we're getting the white women and we're getting those files, all right? This feels like when you're at the airport and Southwest has delayed you for 23 hours. You're standing in line at customer service and there's a white woman in line in front of you, bubbling harder than Prosecco. She's even doing the and then she turns to you and says, I'm going to say something. And you're like, yes, white lady, go up there and get that manager for all of us. All right? And it's not just Nancy Mace. This is an issue across the entire Karen American community. All right? Marjorie Taylor Greene wants the files. Lauren Boebert wants a special counsel. She's like, I came to Washington to expose pedophiles and jack people off. And I'm fresh out of people to jack off.
So Trump made $2 billion for himself last year, which he wants people to think is because he's such a great businessman. It's corruption. The receipts are finally in showing where the money came from. It shows that a few days before his inauguration, someone from the United Arab Emirates government bought 49% of Trump's crypto company. I wonder why, of all the crypto companies in the world, he picked Trump's. Well, a few months later, they get access to some of the most advanced artificial intelligence chips that we have. The paperwork also shows that Trump sold this meme coin of no value at all, makes like $630 million on it. And the people who paid for it, ordinary people out there, lost $700 million. And you might say, well, that sounds like fraud. Well, the other thing Trump did was get rid of the people in our government that go after fraud in the crypto industry. He's not a brilliant businessman. He is a corrupt politician. That's all he is.
21,000 trades. While you're checking egg prices, he was checking his portfolio every few minutes. 21,000 stock and crypto trades. That's the number buried in his latest financial disclosure. Not over a year, not over a campaign, while president. Averaging about 80 trades a day. Every few minutes, apparently, between running the country. And when reporters finally asked him about it, standing in front of his brand new billion-dollar hand-me-down jet, he didn't deny it. He saw it as a flex. The scene is this bizarre presser. He's showing off the new Qatari Air Force One. Qatar donated the plane, then American taxpayers dropped over $1 billion renovating it to presidential standard. A reporter asked the obvious question about critics saying he's profiting off the presidency, and his brain short circuits to a sales pitch for your 401k. He says, and this is verbatim, "You know why I'm profiting? Because the stock market's going up. Everybody's profiting. If you have a 401k, how's your 401k done? It's about up 85%. Thank you, President Trump. So we're all profiting." Oh, okay then. Case closed. We're all just day trading from the Resolute desk now. That's the defense. That you, the viewer struggling with rent and grocery bills, are in the same boat as a guy making tens of millions of dollars, moving assets he theoretically shouldn't even be touching. And that's when it got worse. On the cost of the jet, he says, costs very little relative to what it would cost if we did it a different way. What does that even mean? It's word salad designed to make you feel dumb for asking. It means he thinks oversight is a joke. You're paying the bill for a foreign gift, and he's telling you it was a bargain. Here's the line that really says it all, though. When pressed again on the cash, he goes, "I've made a lot of money before I became president, and they invest my money. I don't know what they call closed accounts or something. You put your money in, and that's it." He's basically saying this is just what rich people do. Stop asking. It's a blind trust that he apparently knows just enough about to brag on, but not enough to claim responsibility for. He's asking you to believe that 21,000 trades just magically happened and made him $2 billion, and he had no idea why this matters. It's a crystal clear window into who the economy is actually working for. He's telling you prosperity is booming because his portfolio is green, while his own economic advisor is out there saying factory jobs for you are right around the corner, maybe by 2027 or 2028. The guy running the country is cashing out at a historic pace and calls the most expensive presidential transport upgrade in history a freebie. What does that say about whose interests are actually being served in every single negotiation? He's not hiding the grift. He's redefining it as patriotism. So when does the trickle-down actually start? Or is his portfolio the only American comeback we're supposed to care about? Say it with me in the comments.
He wants us all to forget it, but we cannot forget it.
I'm really scratching my head because I voted Republican, and most of us in the fishing industry did. and we're not seeing the positives come out of it, why we voted that way.
Donald Trump made $2 billion last year and $636 million from his meme coin. As a representative of Silicon Valley, let me be clear. No elected official should trade in cryptocurrencies or have meme coins. As we approach the 250th year of our anniversary, let's commit to banning meme coins and cryptocurrency trades for elected officials.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have a bunch of updates to share with you guys. This is different than most of the shows I do. Wanted to do kind of a in case you missed it kind of video because so much happened in the last few days. So as you guys know, if you saw my shorts feed, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Congresswoman from Georgia, she announced that she is resigning. She's resigning January 5th of 2026, so just in about a little over a month. And the reason, of course, is because Donald Trump completely turned on her. I think she is feeling disillusioned. I think that she honestly believed in him. This is something that I've been wondering about some of his cabinet members. Like some people like Tulsi Gabbard, who seem to completely flip her positions and swallow everything that he was selling. I'm wondering if some of them are now going, Jesus, this is not what I signed up for. This is not who I thought he was. He's completely turning on us. He's completely, screwing us all over. He's doing crazy shit. Like, how many of them have gotten a wake-up call? Because it seems like Marjorie Taylor Greene really did. It seems like she finally realized what we've all been saying for years, that he has no loyalty to anyone but himself. So this is a really bad sign for Republicans, because if you did see, I only posted part of her video, but she did say in her resignation video that the Republicans are going to lose. She was unequivocal about it, that they're going to lose, and then she would have to stand up and defend Trump because he is bound to be impeached. And she made it pretty clear she doesn't want to have to do that after he just threw her to the wolves. And the party is still very split. I mean, there are a lot of people who are pissed at Trump for the way he's going at her, but there's a lot of people who are pissed at her. And I shared last week with you guys a bunch of the posts that people are making, saying, making fun of her now. And I mean, you would think that these people are like MSNBC liberals, the way that they've been going after Marjorie Taylor Greene. So I think she just looked at this and went like, I've been so loyal. And not only did he turn on me, but a bunch of the base was like, screw this. And so I think it showed her what we've been saying, that, yeah, a lot of these people are cult members. They can't think for themselves. They don't want to think for themselves. And they're going to go along with whatever Trump says. So anyway, if she thinks that they're not even going to hold the House next year, what does that say? And this is a cautionary tale for every other Maga Congress member. Trump's loyalty, his support, is absolutely conditional. And it proves he has something to hide regarding Epstein. I mean, to turn on one of your most faithful supporters, someone who was there for you through thick and thin, who still to this day is claiming that the 2020 election was stolen.
Trump has pulled in $2 billion since he returned to the White House. On this episode of Tone Deaf and Rich AF, we are talking to Trump employee Danica Darvo. Miss Darvo, welcome. So you are the Director of Redirection and Deflection in the Department of Nothing to See Here for the Trump administration. Is that correct? Yep, that is me, and this is Gudetama. Hi. So y'all are crashing out because the president made some profits? Oh God, are you always this boring? He made profits because the stock market is going up. Everyone is profiting. But of course, you're not happy because you're literally never happy. You should speak to a therapist about your TDS. It's getting really bad. Okay, but the majority of this $2 billion did not come from the stock market. It came from shitcoins. Sorry. crypto, licensing deals like those from his Bibles, and tens of millions in settlements from media companies. Consider this payback, or reparations, to use your language. For the years, all the libs tried to imprison him and block him from running for president. Okay. How many times can the man call himself a victim when the receipts clearly show he is the vendor? He's the profiteer. He needs to save up. He's already sacrificed his presidential salary. When he serves his third term, that's another 4 years of selfless, unpaid service. Third term, no. The 22nd Amendment is very clear about 2 terms. That is another reason he needs the money. Modernizing amendments is expensive business. I can't believe you don't know this. You think Bezos, Musk, Zuckerberg, they're just gonna lobby politicians for free? Please, there's like a 1 million minimum just to quote them. Okay, Miss Darvo, thank you for joining us on this episode of Tone Deaf and Rich AF. I would love to say it was a pleasure, but things are feeling very bleak right now. It was such a waste of fucking time.
We'll be tormented by it for a long time. I will be. And I want to say I'm sorry for misleading people. It was not intentional. That's all I'll say.
Tucker Carlson apologized on his podcast for his part in helping to get President Donald Trump elected during an interview with his brother, Buckley Carlson.
You and I and everyone else who supported him, you wrote speeches for him. I campaigned for him. I mean, we're implicated in this for sure. You and me and millions of people like us are the reason this is happening right now.
Carlson has been publicly criticizing Trump over the Iran war. He recently called out Trump's Easter Truth Social post in which the president threatened to destroy Iran's bridges and power plants and demanded that they, quote, open the fucking strait.
It is vile on every level. It begins with a promise to use the U.S. military, our military, to destroy civilian infrastructure in another country, which is to say to commit a war crime, a moral crime against the people of the country.
Trump later insulted Carlson, citing polling about his popularity. He posted to Truth Social saying, quote, Tucker is a low IQ person, always easy to beat and highly overrated. This is not the first time Carlson has broken from Trump. The Dominion case revealed that in 2021, Carlson had privately said, I hate him passionately. Still, these comments are a far cry from the 2024 election, where Carlson praised and campaigned for Trump.
And Donald Trump, whatever you say about him, and I think he's a wonderful person. I know him well. By the way, the funniest person I've ever met in my life, actually. You can't be funny without perspective or without empathy, which is true. But everything else about Trump aside, he actually cares.
Really? Do y'all have eggs and milk money, or are you just out here freestyling it financially? Folks, if you were struggling in April with your grocery bill, it wasn't all in your head. Because in April, grocery prices jumped more than they have in the last 4 years. Fresh vegetables alone are up 44%. That's up more than it was just 3 months ago. At this point, lettuce got a security clearance. Tomatoes need a cosigner. Y'all remember when our parents used to say, oh, we got McDonald's at home. But a lot of people don't even have McDonald's at home no more because ground beef costs too much, potatoes cost too much, bread costs too much. The basics are acting bougie right about now. And this is why I tell folks, when farmers pay more for gas and equipment and to do things, by proxy, all of us are going to pay more. How are y'all making y'all money stretch right now? I want to know. And what groceries did you stop buying because the price has gotten so ridiculous?
Just before President Trump posted about his supposed negotiations with Iran on Monday, traders made hundreds of millions of dollars of extra bets on oil futures.
Look at this. 15 minutes before that Donald Trump post, there was a very big amount of trading volume. Very big.
It seems highly suspicious when you see a surge in volume on no news. So it has many people watching this saying, scratching their heads, hey, did somebody actually have information before it was public? Now, listen, this is called insider trading. It is illegal.
This looks like corruption of the very worst kind. Does the Prime Minister share my fear that Trump is making his war decisions based on what enriches himself and his friends rather than what makes peace in the Middle East?
And we can do this if we stay together. I've been waiting my whole life for this. My whole life for people to stand up and fight. And we're going to do it together. Because what I know is we are on the right side of this. We're on the right side of history. And what I also know is that we are not from the left. We are not from the right. We're from the bottom. But there's more of us, and we're rising. And we're going to take our country back. And when we do, all those oligarchs are going to be scared as shit at what we're going to do. Because we're going to change the system. We're going to change it for all of us in a way that's never been done before.
So I'm here in Washington, D.C., standing outside of the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool. And as you know, this is the site of the iconic I Have a Dream speech by Dr. King in 1963. But right now, it is the site of more of Donald Trump's corruption. Because he said he needed to paint this reflecting pool. He said the cost would be about $1.5 million. And instead, it has ballooned to closer to $15 million of your taxpayer dollars. So guess who's getting the contracts? His friends. So while so many Americans are struggling to put food on the table and fill up their gas tanks, Donald Trump is stroking his ego and his friends are getting rich. That's what we're dealing with.
Hey everybody. It was just reported that our president made over $2 billion during his first year in office. Most of it was from cryptocurrency, which is something that he actually gets to regulate as president. Many people have pointed out that this is a potential conflict of interest. My friend Katie texted me this morning and she asked me, is this really legal? That's exactly the type of question that I'm going to be answering on my new podcast, which is called, Is This Really Legal? But I want to give Katie and all of you a quick answer right now. The definition of corruption is using official power for private gain, meaning using power that is entrusted to you as an elected official to benefit yourself personally rather than the people you serve. So is it corrupt for the president to profit off the presidency? Yes, quite possibly very corrupt. But is it illegal? That's actually a different question. There are federal laws that prohibit conflicts of interest. They actually make it illegal for elected and appointed government officials to have a conflict between their personal interests and the interests of the people they serve. But the president and the vice president are specifically exempted from those federal conflict of interest laws. That's something that Congress could easily fix, but at the moment it is not illegal for the president to have a conflict of interest. Another issue is the Supreme Court's immunity ruling, which held that the president cannot be prosecuted for official acts during his presidency, even if they break the law. Because of the immunity ruling, it is very hard to prosecute a president criminally for abuse of his official office. But there are a lot of really smart lawyers who are working on strategies for cracking down on public corruption, including how we can use civil litigation to recoup some of the money that may have been improperly gained by public officials. I'll be talking to some of those folks on future episodes of the podcast. So please follow along. Please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and please send me your questions so I can answer them on future episodes of Is This Really Legal? Thanks.
Thank you for watching Great Minds Black.